How to install a hydraulic gate opening system. Difficulty level 2 hammers. You already have 2 sturdy pillars and a gate in good working order. All you need to do is install a gate opening system to save you from having to open and close the gate. Using hydraulic gate rams, you need a lot less clearance space between the pillar and any side wall. You will need a hydraulic gate opening system with photoelectric cells, a flashing warning light, some wall plugs suitable for the kind of pillars you have, coach screws, washers, metal screws, and some electric cable. You will need a tape measure, a pencil, a spirit level, a steel rule, a hammer drill, a hammer, flat spanners and a socket set, Allen keys, wire cutters, wire strippers, an electrician's screwdriver and a Phillips screwdriver, a concrete drill bit, a metal drill bit, drill, and a tapping tool. Before connecting the electric motor kit, turn off the power supply in the consumer unit fuse box. The gate rams will work with many types of opening doors, and even if the space required by the opening arms is less, you must stick to the minimum clearances. For this model, the hinges should be no further than 150 mm from the edge of the pillar, and the distance between the open door and any adjacent sidewall should be at least 150 mm. You should also check that the width of the doors and their weight are suitable for the model that you plan to buy. This information will be on the packaging. Check that your gate is operating properly and the doors open easily on well-greased hinges. If the gate gets stuck at any point, check the hinges and replace them if necessary. If you do not already own a gate, tell the supplier when you order it that you plan to add an opening system. This is because some models, such as those made of aluminium, are strengthened by a metal subframe concealed within the cross members. The gate. Remove the drop bolt from the second door, which is no longer needed. Remove the lock as well, as neither is needed, and set the lock to its open position. The motor will keep the door shut in future. Also check that the stops for when the door is wide open and fully closed are solid. The electric cabling. You should conceal the cabling for the electric supply in advance. You should provide a 230-volt insulated and earthed electrical supply to power the control cabinet. Fit another length of insulated supply from one pillar to the next, at the point closest to where you will install any future rams. You should also fit an insulated supply from the key switch or keyboard to each photoelectric cell and from the flashing light. On the other hand, this is unnecessary with a radio-controlled system. You should install the hydraulic rams where the gate is most solid. For a heavy, sturdy gate, the ideal place is at the midpoint of the double doors, in line with a crossmember. For perforated doors, choose a solid area in the lower part of the double doors. For the doors, on each of the doors, mark the direction of travel or the solid area best suited to hold the hydraulic ram. Continue this pencil line onto each pillar, raising it by 6 centimeters, which is the difference in height of the fixing brackets in this example, and make a pencil mark at this level. For the pillars, check the instructions for the space needed for the hydraulic ram support, allowing for the opening of the hinges. This value will vary by material and takes into account the angle of your double doors when fully open and the gap from the hinges to the edge of the pillar. For the pillars, the support acts as an anchor and rotation point for the hydraulic rams and comprises 2 brackets and a plate. The numerous slots allow you to adjust the anchor point of the hydraulic ram on the pillar as necessary. Assemble the support components. For the gate, assemble the bracket and plate which comprise the ram support for the gate. Line up the support with the pencil mark, at the distance you calculated. Mark and drill the holes and insert masonry wall plugs. The drill bit should be 8 mm, the wall plugs 8 mm with 8 mm coach screws and washers. For a hollow wall, it is better to use a resin-reinforced chemical sealant. Remove the cover at the back of the hydraulic arm. Ensure that both doors of the gate are firmly fixed in place. For this type of hydraulic ram, the front support should be located 60 cm from the pillar support and lined up with the pencil mark on the doors. Fix the supports to the doors. With an aluminium gate, as shown here, each support bracket should be attached to the reinforced section of the door. Mark and drill, then tap the holes before bolting the supports in place. Do the same for the other hydraulic ram. For wooden doors, you should fix the brackets to the doors using smooth-headed coach bolts to prevent anyone removing them from outside. Installing the hydraulic ram. Align the front of the ram with the holes on the support bracket of the gate. Then line up the rear of the ram with its support on the pillar. Hold the ram in one hand and open the gate until the fixing holes are in line. Once they are lined up, bolt them firmly in place, then undo half a turn to allow free movement. Adjusting the travel limiters. Fix the front of the ram to its bracket. Then disconnect the motor drive of the ram, following the instructions. Open and close the door by hand several times. To adjust the travel limiters, use an Allen key to loosen, then move them as necessary. You should leave a margin of around 5 mm. Lock the hydraulic ram motor. Insert the electric cable into the cable duct, allowing enough room for the movement of the gate. Tighten the cable duct and connect all the wires, following the instructions. The photoelectric cells are made up of two parts, a transmitter and receiver. They should face each other on top of the roadside of the pillars, 40 to 60 centimeters from the ground. Fixing them on top of the pillars. Take each photoelectric cell apart and fix the base onto the pillar, threading the insulation and cable through the hole provided in the base. Use a 5 mm drill bit and 5 mm wall plugs. Connecting everything. The transmitter and receiver are usually connected in parallel. Consult the instructions to connect the units. Replace the photoelectric cell covers. The flashing light is usually placed on top of the pillar, so that it is visible, and it usually includes a small aerial. Remove the yellow reflector and the light, leaving only the base to fix to the pillar. It may be screwed in place by the bottom or lower part. Mark the holes in either case, then screw the base in place using wall plugs, being careful to conceal the cables inside the unit. Follow the instructions to connect up the flashing light and the antenna. Replace the reflector. Fitting the control cabinet. You should fit the control cabinet on top of one of the pillars. Take off the lid, remove the cable opening cover, and position on the pillar to mark the drill holes. Install the base of the control cabinet using 6 mm wall plugs and screws. Check the instructions if necessary. Connect up the systems. Follow the instructions to identify the wiring connections, paying attention to the color coding. When you install the gate opening kit, there is a difference between hydraulic ram 1 and ram 2, often marked M2 on the connections, indicating the door which opens first and closes last. Putting into operation. Connect the installation to a 230-volt electrical supply. Then as soon as the control module is powered up, try out the different switches, buttons and effects of the remote control buttons, following the sequence in the instruction leaflet. Anyone with do-it-yourself skills can install a gate opening kit.